on Triflix Fridays, we receive a blast from the past. What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Triflix Fridays. My name is Tristan Watkins, and this is the show where we answer all y'all's questions about anything, mostly filmmaking though. Now today we are going to be taking a different approach to learning. Normally I give you guys some DIY advice or some helpful tips and tricks that you can immediately receive, but today we're going to be talking about a process. A process I like to call learning from mistakes. Learning from mistakes can either be your own mistakes or someone else's, and today I'm giving you the opportunity to learn from mine from one of my earlier videos, not my first, but definitely one of my earlier ones, so watch it. And after the video plays, I'm going to walk you guys through the process I go through whenever I look at my old content and I try my best to learn from it. And hopefully you guys can apply it to your work as well as apply it to learning from other people's work. Let's go.
Good evening, San Diego, and welcome to the Nightly News. I'm Ron Burgundy. As anchor for tonight, boy do we have an evening planned for you. Today, scientists have discovered a rare breed of cocaine-addicted monkeys living in the Amazon. We'll have more on the subject later tonight, but first we'll go to our field reporter, Brian Williams.
Thank you, Ron. I'm sitting here with Walter M. Schwab.
Schwab. Schwab.
Excuse me, Ron?
I just don't think it's really pronounced Schwab.
Actually, it is, Ron.
No, it's not actually.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's stupid.
Well, I'm here with Walter, the new director of the Office of Government Ethics.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
The public doesn't even seem to know your office exists. Please tell us a little bit about it.
Actually, the OGE was created by Jimmy Carter in the Ethics and Government Act of 1978.
Well, isn't that interesting?
So, what is the actual purpose of this office?
The purpose of the OGE was and still is to provide oversight, accountability, and direction for the executive branch. We currently run on a $14 million budget.
Is there any interesting history to the OGE?
Yes, actually. Every 5 years, the president appoints a director himself. I was appointed on January 8th of 2013. Originally, we were actually part of the Office of Personnel Management, but in 1988, George H.W. Bush signed the OGE Reauthorization Act, allowing us to become our own office.
Ha! That's not an interesting fact. You sound like a little high school girl reading off random facts for some government class. You want to hear an interesting fact? I once fought a bear in the San Diego Zoo and won.
That I don't believe.
Oh, no, actually, it's very true. They made a movie about it.
Please ignore him. Could you give the viewers an example of recent news involving your office and explain to them how it affects their life?
Well, we advise the executive branch on what to do and say. Most of what they say publicly has been checked by us. For example, when Hillary Clinton said the Benghazi attack on 9/11 wasn't an act of terror and then resigned, we advised that.
Prove it.
That's enough. I've had enough of this pony show.
Oh yeah, you look like you shop at the toilet store. Oh my, what are you doing? No, ah!
Well, that escalated quickly. I'm Brian Williams with the Nightly News. Thank you, San Diego.
Sponsor time! I want to personally thank Carr Design for all the sick logos they provided us with, as well as design help. Carr Design, best design on this side of the Mississippi. So guys, when it comes to watching videos, you watch for 3 reasons: to learn, to entertain, or to critique. In this case, you're watching me talk right now, and you are learning. The video you just watched, you were watching to critique. And I don't know, maybe you watch my channel to be entertained, but probably not. So with that being said, we are going to be focusing on the critique aspect of it. When it comes to critiquing a video, you want to pick apart every single thing, every single scene. You want to ask yourself, why did the director do this? Why did they do this instead of this? Why did they use the special effect? Why did they use a cutscene instead of a gunshot? These are things you want to ask yourself, and sometimes it's stylistic, sometimes it is actually a real reason for it. So yeah, one of the biggest problems I noticed whenever I was watching back over this video was...
Actually, it is, Ron.
No, it's not actually.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's stupid.
the cutscenes. 1 second I'm talking, and then the next person talks, but there's a gap in between, and whenever you have a real conversation, everything's fluent. It's back, forth, and whenever you start putting cuts in between scenes, and it's not a smooth transition, and you don't allow audio to overlap, that's whenever things don't sound so fluent. Imagine me talking to you like this, and then I talk to you back like this, and then they reply back like this. It's just very awkward. Now, if I talk like this, and then I'm just talking a little bit more, and then I start to talk and allow the fluidity to overlay, it just sounds a whole lot better. See what I'm saying? Now, the second thing kind of goes hand in hand with the cutscenes, and it's something I like to call pacing. And that is how the scene is paced out. If you have a lot of awkward pauses, the scene's going to feel very drawn out and long.
What is the actual purpose of this office?
The purpose of the OGE was and still is to provide oversight, accountability, and direction for the executive branch. We currently run on a $14 million budget.
But if you have a lot of quick scenes, kind of like a Jason Bourne movie, it's going to be very fast-paced, very quick action going back and forth, and not necessarily movement action, but sometimes it's vocal action, sometimes it's scenery. These are things you got to think about. I'm not saying it's bad to do cutscenes and go straight from one scene to another, and I'm not saying it's bad to have fast or slow pacing. It all depends on what you're doing. Sometimes there is a rule you have to set, and you say, this needs to be quicker, this is a video that I'm putting online for education purposes, people want to learn as quick as possible, versus entertainment, where you're wanting to savor each and every second. But you have to pick your seconds very wisely, because you don't want to lose your audience. The third thing is the lines.
Good evening, San Diego, and welcome to the Nightly News. I'm Ron Burgundy.
I was appointed on January 8th of 2013. Originally...
Oh yeah, you look like you shop at the toilet store. Oh my, what are you doing?
In case you didn't notice, whenever I would talk, I would often either look down or do these awkward pause breaks where the camera would stay stationary and I would keep talking and then it would do a pause break. And then I would go back to talking and I would be slightly changed in my movement, ever so slightly. But it was really noticeable, especially because of how quick the movements were. It's just not natural, and the viewer starts to realize that they aren't experiencing the film, they are watching a film. And the best way to define this is, when you watch something, do you feel like you're watching life unfold right in front of you, or do you feel like you're watching something somebody recorded and stitched together? My advice is to make everything feel as if though it is very natural, and you're watching it unfold right in front of you, and you don't see all the editorial changes going on in the process. You don't see me sitting here and then finishing my sentence right here to finish my sentence right here. I know I do this in my videos a little bit, and the reason for it is it's stylistic because I'm doing a vlog, not life unfolding right in front of you. I'm not making a film for you to entertain, I'm trying to educate you. And these are things you have to realize whenever you are indeed making your films. So guys, I hope you found this episode helpful. To conclude, there are 3 reasons to watch a video: to entertain, to learn, or to critique. It is always best to learn from mistakes, whether they're your own or someone else's, but I highly suggest you learn from someone else's so you don't have to go through the same process of learning that they did. This will save you a lot of time and help skip a lot of the steps of making boo-boos, such as, I don't know, really awkward movements with patchy in-betweens, where it just doesn't sound very natural at all. Keep working hard.